I got a knock on my door from a friend. This is my early 20s when I didn't have a ton of responsibility. And he says, "What are you doing tonight?" And he was that type of friend that whenever he asked you to do something, you just said yes because you knew it was going to be an epic adventure. He said, "I got 2 tickets to the game. Do you want to go?" Absolutely. So we hop in his car and we go to the stadium, and we don't stop at all the normal parking spots. We go to the VIP section. We go into the stadium and we start walking down the steps, and we don't stop at all the other seats that I would normally stop at. We keep on going down and down and down until we get to the VIP seating area, and we end up right behind the dugout to an epic game. Unbelievable. He's one of those friends that you just drop what you're doing. Do you have any of those friends? When they come knocking, you're like, I'm in. You see, Jesus was that type of person. He came around and he asked people to follow him, and they said yes. My name is Trent Jenkins. I'm one of the pastors here at North Coast Church, and thanks for joining us for today's Daily Dose as we're going into the book of Matthew and giving you an overview of kind of these God rhythms that take place when people say yes to Jesus. You see, Matthew, the book is written and his name is Matthew. He wrote it, but it's about his story and journey with Jesus. Not really just his journey, but what Jesus did in the lives of so many in that area. But who is Matthew? You see, Matthew was a tax collector. And at that point in time, and a lot of times today, tax collectors weren't favored because they were taking money from individuals and giving it to the government. But in this particular situation, it was worse. You see, they were under Roman rule. As a Jewish society, he was taking money from his neighbors, from his friends that were working hard and giving it to the Roman authority. See, he was despised by people around him, his very own people, and he was just tolerated by the Romans because they looked down on Jews. He wasn't a Roman citizen. And so yet he had money, but he was lonely. He didn't have anybody that was choosing him. And yet Jesus comes along and he sees Matthew, somebody that's despised, somebody that's an outcast, and he chooses him. He invites him into the greatest story ever told. He said, "This is a guy that I want to be used for my good and for my kingdom." What would we do in that situation? You see, Matthew, he didn't ask for the itinerary. He didn't ask, what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing next week, next month? Well, let me go check my calendar. What are my outlook looking like? No. He just said yes. In our lives today, there's that reality of, can we say yes? We look at our lives and there's the things that God asks us of us for us to be obedient, to maybe care for a neighbor, a friend, go out of our way for maybe our own child or spouse. And are we able to say yes? Every time that we decide we're going to go our own way, we're basically deciding that we have a better plan, we have a better agenda for our lives than that of Christ himself. You see, Proverbs 14:12 says this, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to their death." I've gone on my own journey so many different times, and it seems like it's epic for a short period of time, but it leads to regret. We can live a life of purpose, of fulfillment, of going after what it is that God has asked of us, or we can go down our own way, and it will lead to some fun. It will lead to some great times, maybe some good memories, but oftentimes those memories are short-lived and ultimately lead us to regret. I want to encourage you today, when Jesus asks you to do something, you respond with that word of yes. He's inviting you to be a part of the greatest story ever told, and we get to be a part of it. So today, say yes.